Welcome, children. Welcome to today's class. Yesterday, we have seen that Nerissa and Portia were discussing about the different suitors who come. So now we find that Nerissa names each one of them, and Portia gives about her opinion about those people. Portia, I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them. I request you, overname them, call out their names. And as you name us them, as you tell their names, I will describe them. Who says that? Portia. And according to my description, level at my affection. And as I describe it, you can come to a conclusion about my love for them. Nerissa. Now she tells the first name. The first one is there is the Neapolitan prince from Naples. Actually, these people are known for their horsemanship. They know to take care of their horses well. Portia. That's a colt indeed. He's a young horse. For he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts that he can show him himself. This is, oh God, he's a young horse. Because he doesn't speak anything except horse. Who is that? Prince from Naples? That is Neapolitan prince. And he makes it a great appropriation. He considers it a great merit on himself. What is that? To his own part that he can show him himself. He can show. That prince can shoe the horse. What does shoe the horse mean? Actually, it's hooves, they put that U-shaped piece of iron. That's the reason when the horse moves, runs, you can say, you can hear that sound, tuck, 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 tuck sound comes, no? That comes because of the shoe. They don't wear shoes like us. But iron piece is put, which is in something like U-shape, which is stuck to that hooves there. Nerissa. Then is there the County Palatine? Now, count from the Palatinate. It is a region on the west bank of the Rhine River, Rhine, R-H-I-N-E, Rhine River. So what do you feel about him? Rhine River is in Germany, actually. County Palatine. County means count. As you have a king for the kingdom, you have a count for a territory where he rules. Portia, he doth nothing but frown. He does nothing but only he is all the time very serious. As who should say, and you will not have me choose. He keeps such a serious face as if he says, if you do not want me, don't choose. You can choose anyone you wish. He hears merry tales. He hears good stories, happy stories, and smiles not. Even when he hears good stories, he doesn't smile. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher. Weeping philosopher, actually, Heraclitus of Ephesus was a Greek philosopher who lived around 513 BC. He had a very poor opinion of human affairs, and he felt he was never happy for anything. as he is known as a weeping philosopher, because the human affairs he felt depressed, made him depressed. That is the reason he went away from his house and he lived, secluded himself, lived alone in the mountains separately. As he is known as weeping philosopher, Democritus is another person who was known as laughing philosopher. Anyhow, we don't have anything about him. I just mentioned the name. So she fears, Portia fears that Count Palatine will prove to be a weeping philosopher because he is all the time very serious. When he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth, he'll become a weeping philosopher. Weeping means crying, serious face all the time. So when he grows old, he'll be like that. Why? Because in his youth, he is all the time very sad. His unpleasant face expression all the time. I had rather be married to a death's head. I wish I marry a person with a skull and a bone in his mouth than any of these two fellows. Who is the first fellow? Among the suitors, the first one is the Prince of Naples. So what are his qualities that you should be able to write? Okay. Then comes Count Palatine, is a German Palatine Count. So what are his qualities? She says that I'm ready to marry a skull with two bones. The danger mark is there, no? A skull with two bones. Same way, I'm ready to marry it than this fellow. God, defend me from these two. Oh God, please save me from these two fellows. Nerissa, how say you by the French Lord, Monsieur Libon? What do you say? What is your opinion about the French Lord, Monsieur Libon? Sir, the good is the name given there. Portia, God made him and therefore let him pass for a man. God has created him, so let him be a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker. She says, honestly speaking, it is wrong to make fun of others. Mock, fun. It's wrong to make fun of others. But he, why? He hath a horse better than the Neapolitans. A better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man and no man. He is much more serious than Count Palatine. And at the same time, he also is very much attached to his horse more than Prince of Naples. He is every man and no man. He has everybody else's character except his own personality. He doesn't have his own personality. He has everybody's character, all the other qualities, everybody's qualities he has. If a throstle sing, if a thrush, actually this kind of bird is found there only in England, that area. So thrush, if a thrush sings, he falls straight a capering. He starts jumping about when he finds that. He will fence with his own shadow. He will fight with his own shadow. When he finds his shadow, he starts fighting with it. So, fighting with it means he'll not fight. He'll take out his, he'll draw the sword out to fight with the shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If I marry that fellow, it is equal to marrying 20 husbands. Why? Because he has the qualities of all those different people. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. If he will hate me, I'll be glad. I'll forgive him, although he hates me. For if he love me to madness, and if he loves me passionately, I shall never requite him. I am not going to respond to him. I'm not going to give any kind of response to him. Nerissa, what say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England? What is your opinion now? Tell me about Falconbridge, who is the young Baron of England. Portia, I say nothing to him. No, I can't speak anything to him because he understands me not, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian. He understands me not, he doesn't understand me. Because he neither knows Latin, he neither knows French, he nor knows Italian. He doesn't know any language, what I know. You will come into the court and swear that I have a poor penny worth in the English. He can come and swear in the court that I am very poor in English, very little knowledge. Poor penny worth means very little. That could be bought with a penny. Penny is a small amount, isn't it? Least amount you can say. With the penny, what you can buy? I don't have that much knowledge also. I don't have in English. He will say that. Because what I speak, he doesn't understand. He is a proper man's picture. But alas, who can converse with a dumb show? He is a handsome fellow, I agree. He's a proper man's picture. But who can speak with a dumb show? Who can, without words, how can I speak to him? Although he's handsome, what will I do with his beauty? When I speak something, he will not be able to understand me. How oddly he is suited. Oh God, how strangely he is dressed. I think he bought his doublet in Italy. I think he bought his jacket in Italy. Jacket? You understand what jacket men wear? He bought his jacket from Italy. His round hose in France. Hose refers to the trousers. Trousers, pant, what do you say? Many of them pronounce it as fant also. Fant is not fant, children, it is pant. Pant also is not a better word to use. Better is to use trousers. So he has brought his trousers from France. His bonnet in Germany. Bonnet refers to the hat. He has brought his hat from Germany, and his behavior from everywhere. And his manners he has brought from everywhere. Nerissa, what think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbor? Now tell me, what is your opinion about the Scottish lord, his neighbor? If you see the political map of United Kingdom, I'm not saying United States of America, United Kingdom, you'll find it is made up of 4 kingdoms: Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland. 4 places are there, if you observe that. So that is the reason it's known as United Kingdom. 4 kingdoms are joined. Why I have mentioned this point here? Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales. Nerissa asks, what do you think of the Scottish lord, his neighbor? What do you think of his neighbor? Who is a neighbor? The previous one is Falconbridge, the Baron of England. And who is his neighbor? Neighbor is a Scottish lord. Actually, these 2 are neighboring kingdoms. And all the time, the Scots, those who belong to Scotland, Scots, they used to always quarrel with English people. And at that minute, the French people always used to help them. A constant assistance was given by the French to the Scots in their quarrel with the England, or English, sorry, not England, with English, with the English. Now, Portia says that he had a neighborly charity in him. He has a lot of love for his neighbor. For he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. Oh God, he has a lot of love for his neighbor because he received a blow on the face from the Englishman. A box of the ear, a blow on the face. And he said, he swore, he promised that he would pay him when he is able to. Imagine what kind of person. If somebody is giving a blow on your face, will you be quiet? You immediately would turn and say, what is this? And give one immediately the response. But this fellow says, okay, when I'm able to, I'll do it. I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under for another. I think the Frenchman gave the guarantee that the Scottish Lord would repay his debt and signed under the name of Scotsman's signature. As I told you just now, that the Scots and English were always fighting and the French always used to assist the Scots. So that point is mentioned here indirectly to say that the Frenchman must have been the surety and sealed under the name. Seal is put under that, one person signs and then another person signs. No? So under is the signature of the Scottish fellow. The Frenchman signed and said, okay, I'll be the surety. We'll take care of the situation later. Nerissa, how like you, the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? Okay. Now tell me, what is your opinion? Do you like the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? Portia, very wildly. Still worse in the morning. Is worse in the morning when he is sober. And most wildly in the afternoon when he is drunk. He's worst when he is drunk. In the morning he is worse. That time he is sober. Okay. But he is very worst in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is little worse than a man. When you think he is the best, what is the best situation in his daytime? That is, that time he behaves worse than a man. And when he is worst, he is little better than a beast. And when he is worst completely, his behavior is worse than a beast. So do you find the comparison there, worse and worst? I repeat the dialogue of Portia once again. Write learn there. All the dialogues of Portia you must learn. Put tick marks and write learn. She says that in the morning when he is sober, he is worst. Who is worst? The Duke of Saxony's nephew, the young German. But in the afternoon when he is drunk, he is worst, worst, you can say. And when he is best, when you think he is the best, whole day, if you take his behavior the whole day, when he is worst, and when he is best, when you think he is best, that time his behavior is worse than an animal. He is little better than a beast. And the worst fall that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him. And the best thing is, the worst thing will happen should happen. I'm not going to accept him. I'm not going to marry him. Nerissa, if he should offer to choose the right casket, choose the right casket. You should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him. She says that if at all, uh, if he gets ready to make the choice of the caskets and he chooses the right casket, will you refuse your father's agreement? If you refuse to marry him, that means you are going to refuse to marry. Refuse to accept your father's will also. That means you are not going to obey your father. Portia. Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. She said, yes, yes, I'm very much frightened. I request you, please keep a glass of wine, Rhenish wine, on the contrary casket, a wrong casket. 3 caskets are there, as I told you. One is made up of gold, silver, lead. 3 caskets are there. So in these 3 caskets, in one casket, there is a picture of Portia. So you keep the glass of wine on a wrong casket. And then, for if the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he will choose it. Actually, Rhenish wine is a white wine made from the grapes that are grown in the Rhine Valley. Rhine is the name of a river, Rhine, Rhine. It's in Germany. So you keep a glass of wine on the wrong casket. Then what will happen if the devil is within him? And if he's tempted seeing the wine, what will he do? He'll go and touch the glass. When he touches the glass, he can say, oh, you have made a wrong choice. Finish. In that way, you can do that. I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge. She says, I'm ready to do anything, Nerissa, instead of marrying a sponge. What is a sponge here? Drunkard. Why drunkard? You know, you keep a piece of sponge and you pour water on it. The sponge absorbs the water. Isn't it? Same way, a drunkard also, the one who drinks, is compared to a sponge. Why? Because he keeps on drinking more and more liquid. Nerissa, you need not fear, lady. The having any of these lords, they have acquainted me with their determination. Now Nerissa says very coolly, Madam, you need not fear about these people who have come. Now you should be able to list out those who came as suitors and what are their qualities. Please underline them and learn them thoroughly. So she says that they have already informed. You need not be afraid of all these fellows whom I have mentioned now, the names, because they have already informed me of their determination. Their decision, they have already told me, which is indeed to return to their home and to trouble you with no more suit. They don't want to trouble you anymore, and they have decided to return back. They will not make any choice unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition. If there is any chance of winning you by some other means, except your father's condition. They don't want to choose based on your father's condition. Any other chance is there to win you, they are ready for that. Because your father has devised this scheme of caskets, and based on that, the person would get the chance. So they don't want to do this. Anything else is there, they are ready for that. Portia. If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana. Portia says, if I were to live as long as ancient Sibylla, she says Sibylla is actually a prophetess in Roman mythology. Apollo granted her as many years of life as there were sand grains she held in her hand. Here, she symbolizes the traditional woman. So she had a long life. Apollo said, a number of sand grains you have in your hand, that many years you will live. And she was a prophetess in the Roman mythology. So she says, I want to live as old as Sibylla lived. That many years I want to live. Same way, I will die as chaste as Diana. Diana is the goddess of virginity, hunting, and moon. So, without marriage, I want to live like goddess Diana and also as long as Sibylla, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. Until and unless somebody comes and chooses me according to my father's will, I'm not going to get married. I live as many years as anybody wants, and I also will live without marriage. I'm glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence. Says, I'm very happy. This parcel of wooers, this set of suitors, this group of suitors who have come, they're very reasonable. Very reasonable. I'm very glad. Because there is not a single person whose absence I feel so bad. Oh, this fellow is so good and he did not choose. I'm not feeling bad like that. I pray God grant them a fair departure. I also pray that God should grant them a happy journey. With this, we come to the end of today's class.